before I start, I've got three short boxes, which I know is not a huge collection compared to some of the ones I've seen online. But for me, that's my slice of comic collector heaven, and it's gonna grow from there. I've only been collecting for a little under a year now. So another thing I'd like to put right out there before I start is that I'm not strong on the comic information. So, first appearances and that sort of stuff. I'll try to give that information if I know it. If not, I'll probably skip over it and just move on. Let you see the comic. If you know the information, then there you go. You already know. Um, so I've always owned comics for a long time now. When I was in junior high, when I was in high school, um, but I wouldn't say that I was a collector, not to the level of what I would say I was a collector, but just a different type. I didn't bag and board them. I didn't know about keeping them in proper condition, keeping them out of the sunlight, all that sort of stuff. I just knew what I liked and I would collect it and read it. But last year, around the time when the whole Death of Wolverine thing was going on, that just pulled me right back in. Wolverine is one of my favorite characters, and with him having the healing powers, the whole idea of his death, and him being a character for decades now, that was just a huge impact. So I had to get that storyline. Once I got back in there, that just sort of rekindled my love for it, and from there I just kept looking for stuff and collecting. You'll notice that most of my collection is Marvel. That's just because the first comic I owned was Marvel. I only got turned on to DC maybe 2 years ago. So there is some DC stuff in there. It's just the majority of it is Marvel, and that's probably how it will always be. But I do love my DC stuff too. So here we go. Enjoy. So here we have The Invaders #1 from 1975. There's a couple reasons I buy comics. I either love the cover, or if it's an older comic, I love the idea that it was around, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, a different time than now, and if it could tell stories, the things it would tell. So if it's not a first appearance, I love #1s. These are all first prints. But otherwise, from that, if it's a cover that I love, I also collect it because of that. And this is one of those older comics from 1970s, where it was just a different time. Everything was a little different, and I just love that idea. And you'll see even older comics. So here's the cover, and we've got Captain America, Namor the Submariner, and the Human Torch, I believe. So moving on, the next one up is, let's see, Journey into Mystery #2. I believe this is volume 2. This is also another comic where it was from the 70s, I believe, but same idea. I loved the cover of it, and that's why I have it in the collection. So there you go. That's the cover. Um, haven't read it, but a lot of these I've never cracked them open because that's why I collect them. Some I've read. Now here is Captain America issue 260, and this is one of a couple that I collect because of the character of Clark Kent in the 616 Marvel Universe. Of course, that being a sort of tongue-in-cheek riff on DC's Clark Kent, who is of course Superman, and I believe that was one of his appearances in there. And so here we have a what if Captain America were revived today, issue 44. Again, another cover that I love. Just the whole idea of Captain America having been, it's a what if. Here we have Avengers 161, Avengers attacked by the Ant-Man. Next up we have the Avengers 264, which is first Yellow Jacket 2 appearance. And here we have Avengers 296, which is a Clark Kent appearance. And Clark Kent is a tongue-in-cheek way of there's some Clark Kent appearances. This is another one. This is Avengers 325, where Marvel has a reporter named Clark Kent, of course, a play on DC's Superman. Very cool. I've been collecting a couple of the appearances. I believe these two may be the only ones I have so far. We'll see as we go through the others. And I definitely love this cover. So that's another reason why I had that one. And here we have Uncanny Avengers #1. I love the look of this cover. Here we have Uncanny Avengers #1, the Scotty Young variant. I'm a big Scotty Young fan, so you'll see a lot of Scotty Young covers in here. Whenever I can get one, I definitely try to pick it up. So here we have Uncanny Avengers #1 again. This is another volume. I can't remember which volume it is. But the all new, all different also, I believe, has an Uncanny Avengers #1. And this is, I believe, New Avengers 32 End Times. Love the cover with Spider-Man in the webs. One of the main reasons I picked it up. Here we have Avengers 43, which is, I believe it's 2 months out from the Secret Wars, the new Secret Wars that leads into the all new, all different Marvel. So here we have Access #1, and this is the Scotty Young variant. As I said, Scotty Young, one of my favorite artists, and I've got the Access storyline 1 to 9, so we'll just go through them. Here's #3. Some are variant covers, some are the regular covers. #4 and #5. This is a variant cover. I love this cover with Medusa on the front. And #6, #7, and #8, another variant cover. And number, this is the regular cover. And then this is the number 9 cover. And of course that leads into a couple of the inverted. Now here we have Iron Man 109, Invincible Iron Man 109. It's an older comic, and I just, as I've said before, I love older comics. Here we've got Iron Man 163, which is the first Ironmonger. Here we've got Superior Iron Man #1 coming out of the Axis storyline. This is, the inverted Tony Stark. Here we've got Superior Iron Man #4. Tried to follow along with the storyline, but I didn't get all the issues, just whichever ones I loved the covers. Here's #5 featuring the Teen Abomination. And #6. And I believe this was the last of that storyline, which is #9, I think, showing Pepper Potts in the armor. So here we've got the Mighty Thor 294, and that's Odin's origin. And we've got the Mighty Thor 337 First Beta Ray Bill. And we've got Mighty Thor 340. And this is just leading up to the issue 344. So next one up is 341. And then we've got 344, which is the first Malekith appearance, and that's the Dark Elf, which you would know from the Thor movie, The Dark World. So here we've got the God of Thunder 25, which is the first appearance of the new Thor in Volume 4. And so here we've got the Volume 4 #1 of Thor, featuring the new Thor. And we don't know who she is, so that was a big part of the story. Here we've got the Scotty Young version, of course. And you're going to see a bunch of different variant covers for the #1. I'm a huge Thor fan, so that is why, going into this, I had to have that, this one, and I collect the older volumes whenever I can find them. And here we've got Thor #2, the Rocket and Groot variant. And so this is leading up to everyone's trying to figure out who this new Thor is. So we can see here with Thor Odinson and Thor on the bottom. And that's issue 4, variant cover. And issue 5. Here we go to issue 6, where we ask who is Thor, and they've got pictures of all the possibilities. We've got Angela and Captain Marvel, Jane Foster, Scarlet Witch. So here Thor is fighting the Destroyer, and now we've got Thor #8, which is when it was revealed who the new Thor is. And I won't say who it is, not to spoil it for anyone out there who doesn't know. So here we've got Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm. This is issue 1. when Angela appeared and turned out to be Thor's sister, being a lover of Thor, the character Thor, I had to get into that storyline. So here we go. Got issue 2. And issue 3. Issue 4. And issue 5 showing Angela and Odin. And the 10th Realm trade paperback. I couldn't wait for the issues, so I went out and got the trade paperback before they came in. And so here you see Spawn number 9, which is first appearance of Angela. And here we have Angela's actual series for herself. So this is Angela number 1. And this is done by Image. And here we have Angela number 2, showing both Angela and Spawn. And then we've got the Marvel series, and so this is Angela number 1. And we've got 2, and this is carrying on the storyline from, I believe I have 2 to 6, where Angela steals Odin and Freya's new child, and Thor, Odin's son, goes after her. So here we have issue 4, and that shows the Guardians of the Galaxy, who are Angela's friends. And so here we have issue 6. I believe that's where I stopped with that storyline. And so now we move on to Fantastic Four issue 48, which is first Galactus and first Silver Surfer. And this is the Wizard Ace edition. And here we have Fantastic Four Annual 23, and this is first appearance of Ahab. I'm a huge X-Men fan, and if you know the Days of Future Past storyline with Rachel Summers, you'll know that Ahab is a big factor in that storyline. And so here we have Fantastic Four 642, which is leading up to the final issue, which is a momentous thing for the Fantastic Four, who've been around forever, sort of kind of like the death of Wolverine and death of Deadpool. And so here we have the actual issue 645, the final issue of Fantastic Four. This is the variant cover, and I also have the regular cover. And here you see the regular cover. So here we have Quasar number 1, which is the origin of Quasar. I'm also collecting the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, and so these factor into that. Here we have Quasar 26, which features a Thanos appearance. You can see Thanos there in the background on the cover. So here's one of my favorites. This is the Marvel reprint of X-Men number 1. I'd obviously love to have an actual X-Men first issue, but I don't have enough funds for that, so I just gotta stick with the reprint. And here we have the X-Men #1. This is the first Jim Lee. And we've got Uncanny X-Men 184, which I believe is a first Forge appearance. And we've got the Uncanny X-Men 191, which is first Nimrod. And if you follow X-Men, you know Nimrod is a Sentinel. I believe it's one of the higher models of Sentinel. Here we've got Uncanny X-Men 200. It's a double-sized issue, and I believe that's Magneto on the cover in chains. So here we've got X-Men 214, that's Dazzler joins the X-Men. And this is 216, where Psylocke joins the X-Men. And we've got 246 featuring Master Mold. And Master Mold again is the Sentinels are based on Master Mold, I believe. As I said, my info can be sketchy, so I may be wrong or halfway right. Here we go, Uncanny X-Men 253, which is Magneto joins the X-Men. And we've got Uncanny X-Men 268. Love this cover. We've got Wolverine and Captain America and Black Widow all on the cover, and of course Wolverine being an X-Man but also being in the Avengers, and the Avengers and the X-Men not playing nice most of the time. So here we've got an Uncanny X-Men 287 Origin of Bishop. And then X-Men Annual #10. This is a Clark Kent appearance, but also first X-Men babies. So as I said, huge X-Men fan, and of course X Factor is with the team of original X-Men. So we've got X Factor 1, X Factor 2, X Factor 3. Love this cover. You can see Archangel, X-Men, or X Factor 4, and that's Beast on the cover before his blue furry days. We got X Factor 5 and X Factor 6, which is first Apocalypse. And we've got 7. And 8. And 9. Now here is X Factor 12, which is first Famine appearance, and Famine is one of Apocalypse's 4 horsemen. And we've got X Factor 34. This is a comic I owned before collecting, so it is a bit rough. It's one of my favorites because it shows Archangel when he becomes the Angel of Death transformed by Apocalypse. And here we've got Marvel Age 2, which has a preview of the Alpha Flight team. In carrying on my love for all things X, we've got X-Force 1. I love the art on X-Force, it was my favorite. Just here we've got X-Force 2, but just the way they drew the guns and the ammunition and the characters. Here we've got X-Force 11, which is first full Domino appearance and third Deadpool appearance. X-Force 29. The New Mutants issue 100, which is the final issue and actually the first X-Force appearance. Here we've got the Frank Miller's Wolverine run. I've got issues 1 to 4. So here we go, issue 1. And issue 2. Issue 3. Which, if you look through the Death of Wolverine, you'll find that pose on the cover of issue 3 is very familiar. So here we've got Wolverine number 1, a Scotty Young cover, which is mainly the reason I had to have it. I just love the Scotty Young cover. And here we go, so we get into the Death of Wolverine, which, as I said, is the main reason that pulled me back into collecting. So here we've got issue 1. And behind it we have a variant cover, and this one I got because it has both Wolverine and Deadpool, two characters with healing factor, which have both been killed off. So I thought that was just kind of a funny coincidence that they're both on that cover. Here we've got Death of Wolverine 2. And issue 3. And finally issue 4. Now these are Death of Wolverine's second prints. I never opened my first prints, and so I have second prints of issues 2 and 3, and these I opened to read through. So here we've got the Logan Legacy issue 1, a Scotty Young variant. This is leading from the Death of Wolverine. And here we've got issue 2. And issue 3, issue 4, and just going through the Logan Legacy. This is, I believe, the last in that series leading up to the Wolverines. And here we can see Wolverine encased in adamantium. And this series just follows all the people now sort of looking for Wolverine to try and get his healing factor. Here we've got Wolverines, I think either 2 or 3, which introduces a new character, Phantom. So here's just the Wolverines. I think I've got some gaps in that story. I don't think I followed it all the way through. So here we've got Deadpool issue 44, and this is leading up to the death of Deadpool. And here is the death of Deadpool issue 45, which is the 250th issue of Deadpool. And so here is Cable number 1, again following up my love of all things X, and I thought it was pretty cool to follow the Deadpool since Cable and Deadpool are pretty tight. So here we're going to look into my slabs. This one's not slab, but this is Southern Bastards number 1. This is the Heroes Con variant, and in time I might get it slabbed. Here we've got Spider-Gwen number 1. It is a CGC 9.8, and it's actually signed, which you might be able to see. I'm not sure, I'll pull in. Let's see. So here we've got Death of Wolverine number 1. It's a CBCS 9.8. This is a sketch variant, and this is actually I believe the very first or second comic that pulled me back into collecting. So here we've got an Uncanny X-Men 158. It's a CGC 9.8, and this is First Rogue in X-Men. And here we've got Uncanny X-Men 244. Again, CGC 9.8, and this is First Jubilee. And an Uncanny X-Men 282, again, CGC 9.8. And finally, moving to my Superman Unchained number 1. This is a Neil Adams. It's a classic cover, and it's a PGX 9.9. This is early on when I didn't know too much about collecting slabs, so we can all forgive the PGX. So I'm going to take a minute to thank my friend because he lets me keep all my short boxes and my slabs at his place because I don't have enough space over at my own place and a good enough temperature controlled area. So here we go to the original Secret Wars 1 to 12, and so issue 1 is the first appearance of the Beyonder. And so here we've got issue 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and missing issue 8, so that's 9, and 10. And issue 8 is the Spider-Man black costume, so pretty hard to get in for a good price. Of course, issue 11, and here we go to Secret Wars 2, 1 to 12, and again I'm missing issue 8. For some reason, issue 8 seems to elude me in both of these. So we've got Secret Wars 0, which was a free comic book day last year, or this year. And leading into Secret Wars number 1 from the All New, All Different. And here we've got a variant cover of that. And Secret Wars 2 and 3. This is the Gwen variant cover, Spider-Gwen. And issue 5. And Years of Future Past, issue 1. And Little AVX, issue 1. And I've got a bunch of different variant covers. So we've got the action figure variant cover. And then we've got the size variant cover. Sort of similar to the Ant-Man shrinking variant. And here we've got, I believe this is the regular cover. Then we move on to A-Force number 1. And Spider-Gwen variant of Deadpool's Secret Wars. And 1602 Witch Hunter Angela, issue 1. We've got Amazing Spider-Man number 1, Renew Your Vows. And Thor's number 1. And Archie number 1, which is a big deal because it's a reboot after 75 years. And here we've got the Star Wars issue 1. And of course the Scotty Young variant of that. And the Obi-Wan Kenobi action figure variant for Star Wars 3. And we've got the Boba Fett action figure variant. The Chewbacca action figure variant. And here we've got a Darth Vader number 1 that I commissioned. So it's Anakin and Darth Vader both fighting sort of a, good side fighting bad side of the same person. And here we've got the Scotty Young variant. And just the regular cover. Here we've got Darth Vader 2. And 3 featuring first appearance of Dr. Aphra. And issue 5. And Princess Leia, issue 1. And I believe we should have the Scotty Young variant, and the action figure variant, and a sketch variant. And I particularly love sketch covers. And here we've got Princess Leia issue 3. And that does it for my first short box. Oh, actually, no, sorry. This is my second short box. So here we're going to start with the Age of Ultron. And this is book 1. And we've got book 2. And book 2. So I guess those were 2 book 1 covers. Probably a regular and a variant. We've got book 3. And book 4. We've got book 5. and book 6, which is a C2E2 variant. This is actually one of my favorite covers because it's got Iron Man, one of my favorite characters, on the front. And we've got book 7. And book 8. Book 9. And book 10, which is in a black bag, never opened, and this is actually the first appearance of Angela in the Marvel Universe. And so, of course, I've got the Ultron Forever issue 1 of the new, all new, all different Marvel. So here we go to the Incredible Hulk annual issue 11, and this I had to have it just because of you know how old it is, and you can tell from the cover just the artwork. Here we've got Incredible Hulk 284. And issue 368. And this is issue 336, and it's very rugged because this is actually the very first comic I've ever owned. And so this is Planet Hulk, issue 1, a Scotty Young variant. And now Silver Surfer, this is issue 27. And this is issue 70. And issue 71, which is a part of the Herald Ordeal. And so I'm only missing one of that. So that's issue 72, maybe 2, maybe I'm missing 2. 73, 74, and 75, which this is the last of the series. I'm pretty sure somewhere in there I'm missing one issue of that. And here's the New Warriors. This is also another comic I owned before I started collecting. So these are in pretty rough shape. Here's Captain Marvel, number 0. Here we've got Miss Marvel, issue 2, and this is the new Miss Marvel. Here we've got Howard the Duck, number 1. And we've got the Evolution variant. And Rocket Raccoon, number 1. And Rocket Raccoon was one of my favorite comics. I loved the writing and the art, and of course that's Scotty Young, so that wasn't a surprise. Here we've got Groot, number 1. And Dazzler, number 1. And Brigade, number 1. And this just brought back memory the artwork of X-Force for me. And we've got the Ant-Man #1 shrinking variant. And Uncanny Inhumans #1. You'll notice I have a lot of #1s. I do love to collect #1s. The ones where I like the storyline, I'll continue or try to get most of the storyline. Here we have Uncanny or Inhumans Annual #1. And this is Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos, issue 5. And this was just one of those older comics where I love the cover. And here we've got Marvel Tales 54, which is a reprint of some Spider-Man issues, I think 73 maybe. Here we have Amazing Spider-Man issue 5. And we've got Spectacular Spider-Man issue 1. And that's actually a double-sided cover. And we've got the Venom, the Madness, issue 3. And Web of Spider-Man, this is also one that I owned before collecting. You'll see that there's something stamped on the cover. So this is Spider-Verse, issue 1. And we've got Spider-Verse Team Up. And we've got, of course, Amazing Spider-Man issue 4, which is First Silk. And Amazing Spider-Man 14. And Amazing Spider-Man 14 variant cover. And Amazing Spider-Man 15, leading to Spider-Woman issue 1. And Spider-Woman issue 3. Spider-Woman issue 5 featuring the new costume. And we've got a Silk #1. And of course the Scotty Young variant. Silk #2. We've got a Spider-Gwen #1 with the Scotty Young variant. And now a bunch of Spider-Gwen #1 variant covers. And we've got the connecting sketch cover. And another sketch cover. As I said, I love sketch covers, particularly black and white. And here is a Campbell cover, I believe, which is one of my favorites. And Spider-Gwen issue 3 or 2 or 3. And this is the new volume Spider-Gwen #1. And we've got Spider-Man 2099, issue 8, part of the Spider-Verse storyline, and the new volume of Spider-Man 2099, issue 1. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to ask my friend if I can come over this weekend maybe to go through my third short box. So look out, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, see you later.